Hi, my name's Leonie Bolt, and I went from high school troublemaker and long-time backpacker to accidental entrepreneur. After 15 years working as a professional photographer and running my own studio, I grew into becoming a personal empowerment and business mentor to help other women to follow their passions and find their purpose too. I've learned to pave my own way through life, and now I empower others to do the same, to break through their limiting beliefs and empower them to shine. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast, where we dive deep into creating a life by your own design. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast. My name's Leonie Bolt, and our guest today is Trish Springsteen. Trish and I share a passion in empowering others to shine. So Trish, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, absolutely delighted to be here with Leonie, because she's right, I do have an passion to have women shine. What do I do? Well, mostly what I like to do is work with women to help them showcase their business, to be more visible and make it easy for their clients to find them. And then I like to give you the confidence and self-belief to make speaking easy, so that then you can connect and speak with those clients. Because really, when it comes down to it, I don't care what you're doing, whether it's a business, a book, whatever it is, the best person to speak about it is you. And that's where my passion comes from. And I've come from that, from years of working on myself and different little situations and things that have given me aha moments. So I've been there, done it, and I know what it's like, and I want to help you have a shorter journey than I did, because mine was freaking long.
Yes, that's the goal, isn't it? To help others so that they don't have to struggle the way you did in the beginning.
That's right. That's right. So that's what I do. That's what I love doing.
So how do you do that?
Look, what do I bring to this? Look, I bring to this all my life experiences, my expertise. I'm quirky. I'm different. Let's just get the elephant out of the room straight away. If any of you have just noticed that I happen to love purple, I absolutely applaud your perception, because I'm extremely subtle about it. So there you go. Now, why do I do that, and how does that come out for what I do? It's because I had got to a point in my life where I believed in myself. Now, that takes a lot of work. It took me a long, long time, because I didn't think I had anything to share with people, didn't think I had a message, didn't think I had stories, couldn't write, couldn't speak. You ask me, I had all those lovely mindsets going on in my brain. And what I discovered was, when I actually did believe in myself, it's freaking empowering, because it gives you the confidence to go and do things you never thought you can. So what I do is I work with you to help you find your belief. Basically, one of the things I say is, I believe in you until you believe in yourself. And then I help you take that belief and connect, share, repurpose and leverage. Anybody who talks to me knows repurposing and leveraging are two of my favorite words, because it's all about finding the gold nuggets that you've already got in your business that will help you to be more visible for people, to step outside. As it is, if you don't shine, people can't find you. And let's face it, no matter what we do, look here, I am a creative business consultant. Basically, I teach people how to speak. I teach people how to get out there. Do you know how many other people there are out there who do speaking coaching, who are business consultants, who are business coaches? There are zillions of us. And there will be zillions of people who do what you do. How do you stand out? That's what we work on. You find the unique you, because we are all unique. We all do it a different way, and that's what we all bring. But that's what we need to be able to own, our uniqueness, and then share that uniqueness with people. How you teach something will be completely different to how someone else does it. How I work with you about speaking communication is a holistic approach. It's part of your business. It's being visible. It's different to other people who may work with you to present on stages. I do that as part of it, but it's not all that I do. So you find your unique part and celebrate your life experiences. And that's what I do, is I help you do that.
Absolutely. That's so important. And that's what I'm passionate about as well, is helping people to shine, their uniqueness, their authenticity, because at the end of the day, when you're running a business, it doesn't matter if you're the best at what you do. You have to be the best at marketing yourself, and people are going to be attracted to you because they see some part of themselves in you. There's something that's relatable that they think, yep, I love that person's energy. I really need to work with them. And that's what's going to bring them and keep them as clients at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes we concentrate so much on the workshops we give, the structure we give, all of that, when really we should be concentrating on who we are. Okay. So we need to be standing up and doing that rather than the workshops that we have. Because if we walk our talk, if we share who we are, then people, as you said, are going to resonate with us. It's the authenticity, the genuine expression of who you are that people want to know. And it's like, we talk about like, knowing, and trust, but I think it's more than that. It's letting people see here why you started your business, why you wrote that book, why you've got a message, and letting people see your story and where you've come from. And then they can relate with that. Not everybody's going to resonate with me. Some people absolutely hate purple. You know what? I don't understand that, but that's okay. I can understand that. You don't have to work with me. There'll be someone out there you can work with. But there are a lot of people who resonate with what I've got. And that's the same for each of us in our business. I think one of the things that really gets me is when we start a business, we worry so much about the competition. And I said, there are zillions of people who do what you do. And yes, we should be keeping, research the competition, see what they're doing, but don't let them dictate how you run your business. If just because they may be doing corporate, I've been told people many times that because I am who I am, the way I present myself, I will never get corporate gigs. I will never get big speaking gigs because people don't want someone who's got purple hair and loves purple to work. I'm sorry, that doesn't work that way. Those who want you will find out who you are, and they'll want who you are. Doesn't matter how I present myself in that respect. And I don't have to conform. So don't let the competition dictate that this is what you must do. You will find your path. You will find the people connect with you. You will get the workshops you want to get. You will get the clients you want to get. Because if you don't walk your talk, people are going to see that doesn't gel with what you do.
Yeah. So and sometimes deflecting those clients that you don't want to work with, that don't align with you and your values and what you stand for. Sometimes that is just as important as attracting the people that you do want to work with, because there's nothing worse than working with a client that's being difficult and wants to challenge the way that you do things. They're not the sort of people that you need. There's somebody else out there for them. So let them have them.
Absolutely. It's very true that there is an enormous amount of people out there that need your help, need your message, no matter what it is. And they'll find you. Only if you make yourself visible, which is where I come from. Don't make it hard for them to find you. We have people who are just like, wow, I have this awesome message and I'm not going to let anybody know about it, because if I do, then maybe I have to do something about it. Well, you know what? That's what you started your business for. It's what you wrote your book about. So make it easy for them. And the right people will. And don't angst over the fact that someone else does it a little bit different to you. You don't have to do it their way. You do it your way because you're unique.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, you're a self-confessed introvert. How did you get started on this journey?
Absolutely. I don't like labels much because, we label people and then we make them sit into that little box. But within all that, there are people who have more introvert tendencies. There's people who have more extrovert tendencies. And there's people all the way on that scale. Now, I know personally, I'm more on that introvert scale, especially. Not only that, I was extremely shy. So I was a very shy introvert. And my definition, where I come from as an introvert, is the fact that I don't like crowds, honestly. Loads of people around me. And I know that sounds hysterically funny because that's what I do. But I know how to handle it now, but I would avoid crowds. I'd avoid going to meetings. I would avoid talking to people because there's too many people around me, and I would just feel my energy levels go boom, boom, boom down. And I didn't want it. So from my perspective, I'm quite happy recharging, getting my energy levels up, be by myself, find a good book, read, find a corner, watch, and people watch it. But, if I want people to find me, I have to step outside that. So what I learned was to harness the energy when I needed to and use that energy to be where I have to be on spot and work with people, and know that when my energy levels were starting to get low, I would just disappear for a few minutes. Go out, just take a deep breath, disassociate myself, get myself back together, and then come back and do it. And one of the things I found on that journey was introverts make great speakers.
Yes.
Which people don't realize, but they do, because when an introvert gets up to speak, they're concise. They want to get what they've got to say over now and connect with people, and then get off that stage or sit down and go back to being really nice, peaceful people who the best person to speak to is yourself, because that person understands what you want to do. So they make good speakers. Extroverts are great at connecting with people, getting out there. They really love that energy. Put an extrovert by themselves and they go mad. It's like, hey, I want people to talk to me. I need people. Their problem when they get up to speak is they've got so much they want to say, and they're so energetic that they overwhelm people. So when I work with extroverts, because I do work sometimes with extroverts, I've got to help them to harness that energy and bring it in a little bit. Let's relax, let's just focus, let's just get, don't overwhelm, get it down to 2 or 3 points, not 100 things to say. So there's pluses and minuses for both. And it all starts, which is what I did, is knowing who you are. Because that is the foundation of being able to enjoy success in your business, do your personal growth. You need to know exactly who you are. And that's probably the most simplest and hardest thing to do. Because that means believing in yourself. It means knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and accepting who you are and working with that. When you do that, it's empowering. It means how do I have to harness my energy? I'm an introvert, and I know I've got to really focus on what I'm doing, bring it in, but be careful with myself, understanding for myself that I have to go and change, get by myself for a while. If I'm an extrovert, I need to know that is really brilliant for making people and friends, but it's overwhelming people. So I need to bring that in and understand where I am. So it starts with understanding yourself, which I did. I worked for a long time. And that came from mentors, comes from having a group of people around you who you can trust to say, Trish, get up there and do that. You need to. We believe in you. And that's why I have my motto, I believe in you until you believe in yourself, because I had people who believed in me until I believed in myself. So that's how I went from being a very shy introvert to being an introvert, not so shy now, but an introvert who knows the value of being visible.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really important that you understand what energizes you and what you need to do to be able to get the courage to go up on stage, but then also recharge yourself afterwards. I know Richard Branson is also an introvert, and he'll sit behind the stage and just no one will talk to him because he needs that moment before just to be inside of who he is, to get that energy up, to get out on stage, do his thing, get off again. So yeah, you're right. You need to just understand your boundaries, and what makes you energized and being able to do what you need to do. That's really important.
Absolutely.
And the support, knowing who's going to support you to get there.
Yeah, that's why I love mentors. That's why I love being a mentor, because I think from my definition of a mentor, and again, mentors come in all shapes, sizes, and definitions. So you will find the one that resonates with you. My definition of a mentor is someone who holds up a mirror for you to look into, what's in all. Clear mirror, gives it back to you and says, yep, this is what you're good at. This is what you need to work on. This is who you are. And then they have a lovely safety net, which supports you when you fall, because you're going to. Life is not all up, because it'd be extremely exhausting if it was all up. You've got to have those downs, you've got to have those lows, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow. And your mentor holds that. And your mentor believes in you. They'll ask the difficult questions, but they'll help you find the answers. And they'll be there, the first person to say, hey, you did it. You're awesome. Go.
Yes. Yeah. It's absolutely important to have that support, because you're right. Nothing ever always goes to plan. And there's no such thing as failure. There's just lessons. But, at the end of the day, when you fall down, you need somebody that will pick you up, dust you off, and say, you know what, that's fine. Because now we're just going to move to the next thing, and you're going to do it even better this time than you did last time.
Absolutely. Look, if you were perfect all the time, it would be pretty boring. And from my perspective, you'd probably stagnate, because it's the challenges, the things that don't quite work. They're where the lessons are that we learn to grow. And if we don't look back at those lessons and take them and put them forward and keep moving forward, we're going to stagnate. And when we stagnate, it's because we're complacent, because we're not looking at lessons, and we don't move, you're not going to grow. That's all it is. And people don't want stagnation. They don't want complacency. They want people who are moving forward as well on their journey, because that means they can take others with them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, when you stagnate, it can become quite toxic. And you're right, you do become complacent. You start to think, oh, I don't need to work hard because it's all working now. Why change anything? But then one day, everything changes and you don't know what to do with yourself, because you're stuck, because you haven't been using that initiative to keep growing.
Yep. You're going to look up one day and think, where are all those beautiful clients that I had? Where are all my clients? They can't find me because I'm now hidden behind a blasted pool of stagnation, a wall that's there because I haven't moved outside that wall for so long, they don't know where I am.
Yes. And the thing is, when you do keep putting yourself out there, opportunities just fall in your lap, right? I know that you get this a lot as well, but even myself, you just find that people are approaching you. Instead of you chasing other people, they're approaching you to get on a podcast, to write a chapter in a book, to get up on stage. And you've just got to say yes and figure it out as you go along.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite sayings, the 60 seconds of insane courage. And that's 20 seconds to realize that little voice is saying, no, you can't do it. Why would you want to do that? Go hide behind a bush. Don't step outside your comfort zone. It's not going to work. And then 20 seconds to say, goodbye. This is my positive affirmation. I am who I am. I can do it. I'm open to suggestions. The universe is going to come. And then 20 seconds to take a deep breath, say yes to those opportunities and fly. Are all those opportunities going to work? Maybe not. But the thing is, you've tried it and you're out there. So 60 seconds of insane courage can open you up to awesome things. I've had that happen to me. I've said yes to one thing, and next thing I know, something else has happened and something else has happened. And if I had let my fears, my worries have stopped me from saying yes to that first thing, I would never have met awesome people down that track. I would never have seen opportunities. So it's scary. You know what? It's really scary. It's scary to stand out. It's scary to say yes. It's scary to put your hand up. But I tell you what, when you do, it's absolutely freaking awesome. And amazing things happen.
Absolutely. Like just this past weekend, I was asked to speak at a fundraising event for a fashion parade. And my first instinct was to say no. I was thinking, this isn't my audience. What's in it for me? You know, all of those things that we instantly go, oh, I should just say no. But you know what? I said yes. It was great because there was 130 people there that I got to speak to. There were people in the crowd that I knew that I didn't even realize were there until they messaged me afterwards to say, I really loved your speech today. And I thought, I'm so glad I said yes to that opportunity, because I could have said no and I would have missed the opportunity to get in front of 130 people and motivate them. And, you know, then that just has those ripple effects into what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, something similar happened to me when, about middle last year, I said yes to an online summit. And from that online summit, I met an awesome group of people around the world. And we were able to put together I was asked to contribute a chapter to a book that we put together in 2 weeks flat. Now, that is pretty awesome to go from concept to getting it up there on Amazon and probably in 2 weeks from a group of people who had never met each other before. So I learned a lot from that. It was an opportunity. I also, just this week, just on Monday, did something that was probably one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life. And I could have said no to it, but I did it.
Good.
The hardest thing I've ever done, ever, is to do eulogy at my son's funeral. There's nothing that beats that. But this was pretty close to it. And I got asked, why did I think it was hard? Because people know that, honestly, I'm so confident in what I do now that I can speak to any amount of audience for any length of time on any topic at any given notice. And I'm very confident and competent and coherent to do that. It took me a long while. So people said, well, why was this one of the hardest things you've done? Firstly, it was way outside my comfort zone. Secondly, I had not much control over it because it wasn't a presentation. It was a one-on-one interview in front of a group of people who I would not normally be in front of.
Mm-hmm.
So it really pushed me outside my comfort zone. It was about the loss of our son, Craig. I spoke about his suicide. I was speaking and being asked questions about our journey. It was extremely emotional. Now, I speak about him, but usually I can speak about it in the construct of a presentation that I've put together. So I control how I come out. This was an interview. Now, we had talked about how it was going to go, just like we do on podcasts and that. But it was a straight, you know that you don't always know where you're going to go on an interview. And questions could come from the audience. And it was for a group of men, predominantly males. And I was worried about, it was his and hers, the nights, there was other females there. But I was very concerned how a male group who do awesome things, that support each other, how they would take a female coming in, sharing an extremely emotional story. Mm-hmm. So that was why it was very hard for me. It was one of the hardest things I did. Yeah. And all the things that I've learned on being confident, overcoming my fear, how to handle questions, all of those are things that I brought to that particular presentation and do it. And the fact that I know that if I'd said no, I would have regretted that for my life because it was an opportunity to share. I did it, and it went well. The guys came up and spoke to me afterwards. So it's just like what you say. If you close yourself to opportunities, you don't know what's going to come. And it closes yourself off to sharing stories. So you have to push yourself. And I wanted to share that because people sometimes look at me and think, well, Trish, you can do all this. You teach this. How can we do what you do? I want you to know that I'm just like everybody else. I have the same worries. I have the same issues. I can get stopped in my tracks. And if I can do all that and meet some hard things, then there's no reason why you can't. So don't let your fears stop you. Just get up there and I can help you do it.
Yeah. And I know you've written lots of books. You've got another one coming out that's a bit of a passion project. I know that one has been probably quite hard for you. I know a lot of people, especially when they're sharing their story in a book, that can be quite confronting and it brings up a lot of emotions. Do you want to tell us about this book that you've been working on for quite some time?
Yep. It's called Forever Changed by Suicide. And it's an awesome book. It has 23 people who have contributed their stories. That's including mine. And it's people who have contributed stories about those they've lost to suicide. There's people who have shared their journey through that particular journey of having those thoughts, maybe even of attempting it. There's those who work with people and they share how they work with them and how it affects them. There's a little chapter there also on grief and how to work through. So there is something for everybody in that book. It's been a labour of love because it's taken 2 years for that. Now, quite often you can get compilations out fairly quickly. But this compilation was asking people to share stories that are deep and emotional for them. So I didn't push it. I let people come to when they were ready to send their chapter because it was more important for me and for them to be able to get that chapter written. I'm going to have the proof of that book in my hand in about a week, and then 6 weeks from that, roughly, we'll be launching it. I think it's something that will reach everybody. It's an opportunity that we've given to people to share their memories and their legacy, and to remember those who've gone. And I'm very, very proud and humble to be able to facilitate an opportunity for member people to do that.
Yeah, really powerful stuff. I know that there's going to be a lot of emotional people reading that book, but it's also very cathartic and healing for a lot of people as well. So
I call it a 5 to 6 tissue box book.
Yeah.
Because and there's nothing wrong with crying. There's absolutely nothing. Tears. It's beautiful. It washes away all those heavy feelings that you have, all that, and it's so cleansing. So I'm very proud of this book. I'm very proud of the people who have had the courage to share their stories, and I'm hoping that the readers will be very proud of being able to read the book.
Yes, I'm very proud of you too, Trish, for pulling that all together. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to share your links about where people can find you. Have you got anything special for our listeners today?
Yes, look, you can go I'll have a link there. I think I've given you on my website. Just go to my website. There's a link there, and it's an ebook on the 3 keys to public speaking. Now, that's the reason why I'm giving that away is because if you've been listening very carefully to our conversation with Leonie and I, you will understand that I'm very passionate about speaking and communication, because it is the foundation of everything that you do. It is what will give you the confidence, and the best person to speak about your business and you is you. So this little book will give you 3 keys to start on your public speaking journey. So go to the link there on the website and be my guest, download it. And if you want to have a conversation further, you can book in and have a conversation with me. But enjoy it. Take it on board. Push your comfort zone. Step out there and conquer those fears. Take 60 seconds of insane courage and read those things and put some thoughts into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Extraordinary things never happen in your comfort zone, and we know that as well as anybody.
It's scary. It really is, but boy, oh boy, it can be exciting. And you just don't know where it goes. I get goosebumps thinking about it because, wow, I'm scared. I push. But boy, things I meet, people I meet, and where it takes you, the journey. God, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be stuck in the mud. I don't want to be stagnating. I just want to be growing all the time, every day. And that's what you do when you push yourself.
Yeah. And just taking that first step will open up so many doors that you didn't know even existed.
Doesn't have to be huge. Just a little step. One step at a time. I'd like to say to people I work with, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. Yes. How do you grow your business? How do you grow yourself? One small step at a time. Just keep pushing. It gets there.
Yeah. And there's always going to be more steps. Doesn't matter where you get to. Doesn't matter, what your goal is. When you get there, you're just going to see more stairs. And that's the exciting part.
It is. It is. I mean, how boring would it be if you get to there and you think, oh, I'm finished.
Is that it?
I'm not going to be getting there until someone takes out and pulls me up and says, hey, it's time for you to go on to the next life. Okay, that'll be fine. But until then, I'm exploring things. I'm moving forward.
Absolutely. So if you want to know more about speaking or how to become a published author, reach out to Trish. I've got the website there on the screen if you're watching. Otherwise, if you're listening, I'm going to pop them in the show notes. Thank you so much, Trish, for being on the show today and sharing your story. And I hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely delighted. I'm not going anywhere and I'm very easy to find, subtle.
Just look for the purple.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trish.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Shine podcast. My name's Leonie Bolt, and I'm glad that you were able to join us today. I hope you got some serious inspiration from today's episode. If you'd like to find more episodes, go to leoniebolt.com/podcasts or start subscribing on your favorite podcast streaming channel. I look forward to seeing you again soon.